All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome to my channel, to my PRA channel, hosted by me, Sam IV, aka Sam Martinez, aka S Martinez IV, for following me on any social media. Basically, we get right into this. Who am I? And if you guys have not followed me on anywhere else and you guys don't follow the podcast already, my name is Sam. I'm basically a soon-to-be husband. I'm a father of two amazing kids. And I started a podcast about a year ago almost, back in August 2018. And now, before that, what I was going through was a lot of these weird phases of life. And I was getting pretty lost in life, like I feel we all do, before we reach our paradigm shift. And what happened to me is I got so lost in selfishness. I got so lost in manipulation. I got so lost in just very egotistical things that I almost gave myself justification as to feel entitled to good things. So with that, I ultimately was very bitter because anything that was not kind of working out for me, I was using as like a tally mark, and keeping score and saying kind of like I was doing this, I've been doing this, so I deserve this. And when you do that, you create a lot of false expectation and disappointment, because nothing ever happens the way that it's supposed to, or nothing ever happens the way that you see it. But everything is happening the way that it's supposed to at the same time. And this whole middle ground sense of give and take kind of like intrigued the hell out of me. And so what that allowed me to do is right after I reached my all-time low, which was me ultimately almost losing my entire family, which I'm getting married in July. Awesome. But, when I reached that all-time low, I hit that paradigm shift. And I was able to flip the switch and say, there's got to be more. Like, there's got to be more. There's got to be a way that I can be happy. I was always so worried about money. I was always so worried about the future. I was always so worried about what my mark was going to be on this world. And that was the wrong way to go about it. So why I started the podcast in general, which is the PRA podcast, if you guys have not already listened to it, please do so. It's on Spotify, on all major platforms. It is, again, the PRA podcast, and I'll go over what that is here in a second. But basically why I started the podcast, because I felt very alone. I felt like I didn't have a lot of people in my life that I could turn to, and I didn't feel like I had normalized a lot of the things that were going on internally with me. So with that, I just kept them inside, bottled them up, and what happened? I ended up self-sabotaging my entire life. Because that's what happens when we hold on to things. We're carrying all this weight and we're trying to move forward with a bunch of weight. You don't need it, and you need to drop that. So I started the podcast to help normalize a lot of things for people, because I was going through things. I can't be the only one going through them, and in case you're not wanting to be like this big CEO, and in case you're just wanting to live life on just a better playing field, like you want to feel better just every day, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have money. You just have to identify who you are and what your version of success is. And so I wanted to start the podcast to help open people's minds up to different areas of that. So that way, ordinary people could see that ordinary people are just being happy with who they are, and they don't need a company, or they don't need all of these external validations to be happy within themselves. And ultimately, all of the successful people in the world will tell you that it exemplifies based on what's in here. So the more you work on yourself internally and you know exactly what you're doing, the more clarity you will have, even if you are trying to start a business. So that's what's important with this whole thing. So what I hope to help with basically is just that. I hope to help redirect people into what their versions of success is, because we are too swayed and influenced by celebrities, and because nowadays with the social media you can get kind of exposure, you can get attention really anywhere, and so doing anything. And so it's important to solidify what type of value you're going to bring, whether it be comedic, actual important like educational value, or if it's just entertainment value. And if you have any of these forms of value, it's important to know who you are when you're delivering these, so that way you can help your audience and who you're trying to kind of like resonate with. You can actually resonate with them on a more genuine level. And in order to do that, even if you want to just get what you need out, so you want to have some more friends to vibe with, you've got to be very honest, and you've got to be very open with what you're doing and who you are, especially with your own self. And so that brings me to PRA in itself. So what is PRA? PRA is potential, reach, and aggression. And so basically when you find your potential and you locate that, then you will move on to actually figuring out how far you need to reach in order to get to that place that you see yourself, that place that you see your future self becoming, that better you. And so when you can figure out that reach, you can use a relentless aggression to get there. And so ultimately what this leads to is PRAgression. So PRA, aggression. So progression is growth and growth is life. And so that's why I kind of like did that. But to get there and to get to, potential, reach, and aggression, to get into that progressionary state of being, you have to first figure out the cycles of fulfillment, or the cycle of fulfillment, which are just these different types of loops that you can go through to help combat everyday villains of life. See, before I was going through self-doubt, I was going through all these self-inflictions, but I was also going through fear, giving into my fear. I was also, detaching myself and just becoming distracted. I was also comparing my life with other people. I was also getting my ego involved and becoming very egotistical. And all these things were just being built up and fueled by my lack of implementing the things that I'm about to tell you. And so when I started figuring this stuff out, it originally started out as 3 pillars, which was health, relationships, and passion and purpose. And so what that has kind of turned into throughout this whole year, what I've actually been able to finally do with clarity and realize and apply and actually be able to utilize throughout this entire year, is there's actually 5 different types of like pillar cycle, circular system. Like it's a whole system. And so basically what it is it starts out with mental health. And so what that cultivates is a baseline principle of gratitude. So when you can work on your mental health, you're going to be granted gratitude. And what that entails is we're going to work on mindset. That entails you thinking about perspective and opening yourself to different perspectives, as well as being more accountable for where you are in your life. And when you can focus on those 3 aspects and just little exercises in between, basically what that means is at that point you cultivate gratitude and you've worked on your mental health, the system, and now you can kind of like utilize that as your tool belt. You've been able to identify different ways using mental focus to combat certain villains. Then you move on to physical health, which is granting you momentum. And with that, you're going to learn discipline. You're going to learn how to create a plan of attack based on the clarity that you got from your mental focus. And so you're also going to create a sense of meditation. So you're going to be able to do you don't have to meditate per se exactly, but you will create your own form of meditation throughout here that grants you the power of just peace of mind, so you can at least be able to structure your plan of attack. And so what that'll grant you is more momentum to move into a positive energy state. So in case you're feeling a little low on the optimism and your energy is just very low, and what this is going to tell you, it's going to teach you about vibration. And this is where spiritual health just all comes in. So it goes from mental health, physical health, to spiritual health. And so what that is you learn about vibration. I'll talk to you guys about your belief systems and just about how to form the own truth within yourself, to create that truth and believe in it and create unwavering faith and extraordinary effort to consistently keep capitalizing on the things that you need to do. And what that's going to do is it's going to raise your energy level so you can attract better things within your life. And so after that comes relationships. And what that does is with the power of presence, I'll talk to you guys about the power of presence. I'll talk to you guys about exposure and exposing you guys stuff to as many perspectives and many different people as you possibly can, so you guys can, like I said, help normalize your own situations based on where everybody else was at that point in time. You can't just mimic everybody's level of version of success, because everybody has different circumstances which they came up. So also with that, we'll talk about emotion and how to get to know your emotion, how to become friends with your emotion and really become familiar with what you're feeling when you're feeling it, enough to identify and create that thinner level of dissonance between your actual conscious and your actual reaction. So once you do all that, you can develop empathy. And when you can develop empathy with another human being, you can relate to another person's mindset, which opens not only everything that we've already discussed, which is the the gratitude, the momentum, and the energy level, but it also, when you open up that level of empathy, you're really transitioning into the last phase, which is self-awareness. And that's when you are able to figure out your passion, you're able to figure out the process that you love doing, and you're also able to have complete humility for if there's something you don't know, you can be a leader and ask people for help because you're aware in what you're good at and what you're weak at. So now you can figure out, okay, in order to get this stuff done, I need some help in this area, this area, this area. So who can I speak to? Who can I get help from? Whatever, whatever. And that grants, and that is your purpose. And when you can find your purpose, it grants you that level of self-awareness. And like I said, when you grant that level of self-awareness and you utilize this whole cycle system and you become more familiar with it, which is what I'm going to be talking about here in just a second. But when you can become familiar with every single one of these, what that helps is that helps your level of progression because you've developed that unwavering faith throughout. And so you believe in yourself at that point. And so when you believe in yourself, you're unlocking your superpower, which is unlocking your potential, and you're starting to begin the progressionary stage of life, the PRA, the potential reach and aggressionary states and points of life, which are going to allow you to just keep your head down, keep working, and keep combating any villains that may arise when they come up with this system and with this cycle of fulfillment. And it's a cycle because life is a cycle, you know. Life is a cycle. We have the water cycle, we have the recycling cycle, you know. Mother Nature and just the whole world in general comes in 4 seasons. Like everything is a cycle in life, and everything grows that is abundant in life. So when you can learn to grow, when you can learn to constantly be adapting and progressing, and you can actually figure out that there is a pattern recognition that you can find, a certain middle ground that you can utilize to be happy within yourself, and then figure out the nuanced stuff later. Because you'll get clarity, I guarantee it. You'll get clarity with where you want to go and who you want to be and what you want to do. And not only that, but you will have developed the right relationships within to help you get to where you want to go. You know what I mean? So it makes it a lot easier. And so basically, I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to actually make another video on this and release it later. But it's going to be on my 25-week transformation. And so what I'm going to do is before my wedding, so right now my wedding is going to be in July. And so what I want to do to kind of test this stuff out is start my YouTube. So I wanted to start my YouTube and start this 25-week transformation. So if you guys want to join me, you're more than welcome to. What I'm going to do is every single day of the week, I'm going to be going over an overview of every single one of these. So basically what will happen is, you know, throughout my social media, if you guys follow me on S Martinez IV, that's Instagram, PRA Network is the Facebook page, but Twitter, LinkedIn, that's all just S Martinez IV. But what I'm wanting to do is do week 1. We'll go over mindset, perspective, accountability, gratitude, and just mental health in general. Week 2, we'll go over, actually, you know what? I'm going to go over this in a whole nother video because it's taking a little bit longer than I thought. So I'm going to end it on this, but with that being said, guys, don't forget to tune in the podcast. Like I said, don't forget to like the Facebook page, the PRA Network. Eventually, I'm going to be building up a network, but right now, since I'm in the very beginning stages of all of this, I'm finishing up my book. That should be out by my birthday of 2020. So my book will be done 100%. If not before, it actually might be done hopefully, you know, between October and December of this year, but the latest is going to be my birthday, which is January 16th, 2020. I'm getting married in July. And so, you know, in between that time, I'm wanting to, you know, I have the book coming out, like the podcast, and I'm having these long form blogs on Facebook where I'm talking about just everyday things that I go through. And if you guys experience anything that is similar, please feel free to dive into that conversation, and I can go over them on the podcast as well and everything like that. So PRA podcast, don't forget to like it, favorite it, share it, listen to it. Let me know if you guys want to have a conversation. We can schedule something and we can talk about a certain subject that I talked about here in this video. So my next video is going to be on the 25-week transformation, how I'm going to break all that up, and then how you guys can follow me and be able to slowly but surely start to regain control within yourself and start to become fulfilled from the inside and just put it out to the world and literally give through the overflow of what you feel and all of that love and all of that truth and stuff like that. So good vibes, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching this entire video if you guys watched it. I know I was rambling on about a lot, but I just wanted to get it out there about who I am, what this is, and kind of just that overall ethos of what I'm about and what I'm trying to do. So this is it for right now. It will grow and it will get better as time goes on, because I just keep learning. I keep getting new things, and yeah, it's very exciting. So check out the book. There's a free ebook as well on my Instagram, so go ahead and download that. It's kind of an overview of everything. And yeah, good vibes, guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out.